Now, Angela, I want to thank you because it seems that you are clocked in and you are ready to work. You are bringing the mess, okay? But in real life, baby, don't do this because you and your uninvited plus one will be escorted out with the quickness. Let's talk about it.
Roxiie says we're gonna talk about it.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxiie with Roxiie Says, and we're going to talk about it today. We are reviewing The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 7, okay? This episode was good. It wasn't as dramatic as our last two episodes, but we still have a whole lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. But before we do, please don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you are made aware when I post a new video. We are so close to 35K. Let's make it happen, all right? So let's get into this review. Child, as the episode opens up, okay, we see Brit and Mike. They are shopping for a new car. Apparently, Mike told Brit that every few years he's going to get her a new car because happy wife, happy life. When Brit says things to Mike, he always answers with a tone of, girl, now why are you lying for these cameras? You know we never said that. You know we just at this car dealership for the show. That's what he gives every single time he's on the screen. So Brit says that she was sad about the whole Kenya situation for a bit of time, but she's back up now, okay? So she's talking about hearing the sex in the engine, and she's sticking her leg up, and Mike tells her to put her damn leg down and that she's doing way too much. Now, this is like, what, the second time that we've heard him say that? First time was when she was talking about getting her whips and her stools for Kenya. Yeah, and he told her that she needs to calm down. So Mike asks Brit how she feels about Angela after the peace brunch. And Brit lies, and she says the first thing that Angela said to her was, I know about insurance, okay? How is it even possible for you to lose your license? And Brit says, but she don't know what's going on with me. I'm under investigation. Miss Mamas, at the peace brunch, when Shamia said you lost your license, you responded and said, Yes, I did. Yes, I did. You did not correct Shamia and say, oh, no, girl, I didn't lose it. I'm just under investigation. That's not what happened. You would have been perfectly fine with everyone sitting at that table and us, the viewer, actually believing that you lost your license, okay? Stop it, Brit. Seriously. You're just upset that Angela clocked you and you didn't get those pity points that you were hoping for. That's why you're really mad. And in Brit's confessional, she says that Kenya labeled me as an escort, as a corn star, and a fraud. And because of that, her licenses are now being investigated. Now listen, okay? They did go and dig up all of Brit's stuff on TikTok, and apparently she hasn't had her license since like 2022, allegedly. And apparently everything that Kenya claimed about her are still not reasons why your license would be removed or even investigated, okay? There are people who are sex workers and they sell insurance. They are still licensed. So it's looking like maybe Brit lost her license for other reasons, like fraud or selling without the proper license, something like that, allegedly. I don't know. Go ask Tammy Talks, okay? She knows all about that. Shout out to her. But Brit is trying to blame her losing her license or being investigated on Kenya.
I'ma tell everyone it's Kenya's fault.
That's why she got so upset when she's questioned about it, okay? So Brit says that Angela isn't a girl's girl, so she can't really trust her. Brit, are you a girl's girl? Mrs. O, females, they're all jealous of me. Females don't like me. I don't have a lot of female friends. Child, Brit starts going off and she says, what if I spoke about the things that I done heard about Angela? And I said, ooh. Are we about to talk about that? Are we about to talk about that? Yeah, we about to talk about it because Brit says apparently rumor has it that Charles had a baby on Angela. And I said, ooh, child. So apparently, you know, that's the tea that Porsha knew about, unless there's some more. But I think that that's the tea that Porsha was referring to. And maybe there's some truth to it. And that's why Angela didn't give her much pushback at that vault dinner when Porsha said what she said, okay? Anyway, next we see Drew. She is meeting up with Angela at her place. And child, Angela immediately let Drew know that she spoke to someone who confirmed that Michael Jordan is not her cousin. Angela said, yeah, girl, I made some calls and Michael Jordan is not your cousin. And Drew claims that she was just joking. Child, they roll that footage back only for us to see Drew doubling down on the notion that Michael Jordan is in fact her cousin. Drew, is it that you're embracing the lying character, right? You know, on social media, everyone says that Drew is a liar. So is it that you're embracing that, or is it that you just can't help it? which one is it? Okay, because you're leaning a bit too much into it at this point. So then Angela starts running down on the food at the peace brunch. She said the food was halfway good. The grits still needed some cooking. I was like, well, damn. Well, damn. I'm really enjoying Angela this season, I will say so far. I do think that she's been a great addition. Okay, I really do. Even though she's going to piss me off in this episode, I still think that she's a great addition. So Angela says that she was ready to have a peaceful meeting with Brit. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but she does hope that Brit learns to grow up a bit. So Drew says that she actually received a text message from Brit earlier, and baby, the way that I started cracking up at Drew's Brit imitation, because she said that the text said, hey Drew, I know we didn't get off on the right foot, but I was hoping that we can, go get some drinks together. I was cracking up. I really was. But it doesn't look like at this point Drew responded. She says she's just going to let the text sit there for a little bit. And I'm like, girl, well, don't let it sit for too long. You know how Brit get down. She going to do a whole drive-by at your damn house, child. So then Drew speaks about her arrangement with Ralph. And she says that she is fighting to keep the divorce documents sealed because she doesn't ever want the kids to be able to see the details of their divorce. Now, we're going to talk about that a little bit more in depth a little bit later. So then they talk about the Dennis and Porsha situation, and I'm like, okay, listen, same thing. He said this, she said that, she's mad, he's mad, this same storyline BS, and I'm over it. We're still over it, okay? So next we see Cynthia. She is pulling up at Kelli's house, and we meet Kelli's sister, and they get right into the conversation of dating. So Cynthia says that the men her age want the younger women, but the younger guys want her. Okay, Cynthia said they looking for TT. They want TT. I said, I know that's right. Listen, if Cynthia does one thing, she gonna date and she gonna get married. Okay, that is what Cynthia Bailey is going to do at all times. And in her confessional, she lists all of the things that she wants in her next man. And even though the list is pretty lengthy, the things on the list were pretty ordinary to me. Good hygiene, kind, a non-smoker. I'm not mad at the things on her list at all. So next we see Shamia and Porsha. They arrive and Porsha sees Kelli's dog and it's dyed with like pink hair and all of these designs on it. And Portia's like, girl, now what the hell you did to that dog? What is wrong with that dog? And in Kelli's confessional, she says that their dog was actually stolen and she had to put an award up for it, and they found the dog for sale on Craigslist, okay? So she says when they got the dog back, they dyed the dog's hair to make it look very unique so that it would be an aversion to her being stolen again. And if she is actually stolen again, it would be easier to identify her if she's posted on the site, right? I definitely understand that. Listen, I will say this. I did not understand people going crazy over their pets, baby, until I got my own. I have 2 dogs, and baby, I will fight you over my dogs. I will fight you over my dogs. I'm not even joking. Moving on, okay? So Porsha asks them about the peace brunch because remember, she faked being sick so that she wouldn't have to attend. And they tell her about everything that popped off. Then they ask her about the whole Drew Dennis situation. And she says that she's over it. The same thing that she said in the last episode. Why are we dragging this out? I do not know. Does Porsha have anything else to talk about other than this Drew Dennis situation? Anything at all? So Porsha says that she wants to have an event in Nashville for her birthday, kind of like a Cowboy Carter theme. So they're going to be doing that boots on the ground dance, right? Y'all know how to do that dance? I just learned how to do it like 2 weeks ago, and I'll be popping it. I'll be like, wah, 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 period. I love it, okay? I haven't been to an event where I got to do it. I just be doing it in my living room, okay? All right. So Porsha says that everyone is invited except for Drew, and she says that she's also bringing Lauren, Manetta, and a couple other friends. So during this scene, they cut back to Angela and Drew because they're still at Angela's house, and Angela is still trying to invite Drew as her +1, even though she was on a Zoom call with Porsha and some other ladies. And in my opinion, Porsha made it very clear that Drew is not invited, okay? She made it pretty clear enough for me to see through the damn television screen. But Angela claims that the service was bad and Porsha was losing connection, so she didn't hear a definitive no. Angela, I like you, girl. I like you, girl, but you playing, okay? You playing. Angela does crack me up. I feel like she's picking up the torch and she's trying to carry the show along and stir the pot, okay? Like the OGs do. And I do love that for TV and for entertainment purposes. But like I said before, if I was Porsha and I'm telling y'all I do not want someone at my event and you invite them as a +1, the both of y'all asses will be escorted out. Very simple. Very simple, because why are you playing with me? We not about to do that, especially on my birthday, okay? But Drew was shaking her head, nah. And I'm like, yeah, I get it, because Drew needs her own invitation so that she can invite her security guard, Allison, as her +1, okay? She don't need to be a +1. She needs to have a +1, all right? But Angela says that she's going to work on Porsha, and Drew says that given how shaky things have been between her and Porsha, the invitation would have to come straight from Porsha. Okay, this is what Drew said. The invitation would have to come straight from Porsha, and I agree with that. If I was Drew, I would not be coming to Porsha's event unless Porsha invited me herself. First of all, I wouldn't even be attending a birthday dinner for someone who I have beef with, but if we are trying to reconcile, that invitation would have to come straight from the person. I am not going as anybody's damn +1, okay? Child, so next we get a bunch of little 10-second scenes. We see Kelli, she's giving her daughter driving lessons, a really cute scene. I always love seeing Kelli and Chloe. I love their relationship. We see Shamia, she's in the studio. Then we see Angela talking about her nose job, okay? And apparently she says that she was very unhappy with it because it was a bit too pinched. So she was advised to go get Botox to blow up the size of her nose a little bit so that it would look less pinched, but instead her whole face blew up, okay? And I'm like, so then when did she get her nose done? Because Shamia really had me thinking that Angela got her nose done in the 90s, right? I don't know. So then we see Porsha and Cynthia is telling Porsha how shocked she is that her and Simon are in such a horrible place. And I'm like, really, Cynthia, you're shocked? You're shocked? Because we aren't. Not at all. I don't think any of us are shocked about what's going on between Porsha and Simon right now. So, child, we see that Drew agreed to meet up with Brit, and I have to say, as soon as I saw Drew on my screen, I was just like, oh, baby, Drew, this hair color, this hairstyle, she looks so beautiful. Oh, she looks so beautiful. She really does in this scene especially. She always looks great, but I just love this hair color and style on her. I love it so much. So they speak about the peace brunch, and in Brit's confessional, she says that she doesn't like that Drew was defending Kenya when she's the one who was publicly humiliated, okay? But remember at the brunch, Drew said that the both of y'all, Kenya and Brit, were in the wrong and that y'all should have a conversation about it. But clearly that's not good enough for Brit because she's immature as hell, right? And we know that she's always on that, what about me? This is about me type shit, right? So Drew tells Brit that she came off as celebratory when Brit said at the brunch, well, Kenya isn't here anymore. I'm here. So they showed us the flashback of Brit saying that. And you can tell even in that clip alone that Brit is trying to portray herself as like the HBIC, like Kenya ain't here anymore. I'm here, girl. You're not that girl. You're not that girl, okay? These women have a history. You are new here. You're going to have to work your way up the ranks. You're not just going to come for your first season. And because you did get Kenya out of here, essentially, you just the new HBIC. It's not going to happen like that, baby. It's just not. Sorry to break it to you. So Brit tells Drew that she's an open book and she will answer any questions that she has. So Drew takes her up on that offer. And Drew says, well, did you ever sell it? And Brit is confused. Brit is like, huh, did I sell what? And Drew was like, did you ever sell it? The cat, Baby, the way I cackle because Drew, but Brit says no. She says no, she never sold her kitty, okay? So when Drew asks about the corn, Drew says, have you ever done corn? Baby, the way that Brit could barely get the answer out because she started stuttering. She's like, wait, okay, no. Have I ever done, okay, no. What I meant to say was, no, I have never done, I've never done, child. Drew was like, okay, you okay over there? Because she couldn't even get the answer out. But eventually she does get it out that she's never done corn. The only thing that she's done was webcam with a female friend. She says that they were just on there naked and chatting with people. But there was never any type of explicit activity, okay? And she also says that she only did it for like a week in her 20s. She made some change from it. So she doesn't understand why women are shaming her for it. So apparently word got back to Brit that Drew says that she knew the that was in the picture that was shown, that was blown up at Kenya's event. And they show us the footage of Drew saying that she got a DM from the peen holder. Okay, this conversation happened at Shamia's house. Remember, they had like a little day brunch or whatever before the actual peace brunch. Okay, and what's her name? Brit wasn't there. Okay, so when Brit asks Drew about it, Drew says that she just likes to joke a lot. Listen, Drew, you're going to need to stop with the joking, because you've been joking since you first got on this show. But what it really is that you'll be lying. You'll tell a lie and you will allow people to run with it. And when they call you out on it, you say, what? I didn't say that. I didn't do that. Or now your new thing is that it was just a joke. Just stop it, Drew, okay? So the ladies agree that they're cool. They have no issues. And when Brit asks Drew if she's able to be cool with Porsha, Drew just takes a sip of her drink. And I'm like, okay, so y'all really gonna drag this out for the entire season? Really? That's what we doing? Okay, child. So next we see Ralph and Drew. They spent a lot of time on this scene, but they're on their way to court. And Drew says that she just wants this divorce to move along and finally be over with. But it's clear that Ralph wants to put up a fight. So Drew says that her goal for today's hearing is for Slowhead Ralph to finally move out of the home and pay child support. But Drew's number one priority is to make sure that the case remains sealed. Okay, she's been talking about this from previous episodes. But Ralph is pissed that Drew is trying to get him up out of the house that he pays for. And I am happy that production asked Drew, what exactly is it that she is so fearful about coming out that she wants the document sealed? What is it, girl? Because she keeps claiming that it's about Ralph and that it's to protect the kids, but I just feel like there's something more. The kids are going to find out about the divorce, and if the details do come out, you can summarize it to the kids in a way that they can understand. You know what? Daddy wasn't nice to mommy. Daddy did some mean things to mommy, so we weren't able to work out, but Daddy and I love you more than anything in this world, okay? It had nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? But the way that she's going about it, I feel like there has to be something more than what she's saying, and we know that Drew is known to be a liar, so yeah. We learned that Ralph is on his third attorney, and we see a split screen of Ralph with his attorney, and his attorney showed up ready for the camera, and as soon as they said action, she was on go. She was like, this is a money grab. I was like, okay, girl, you got it. But we do see them go in to have their hearing. And after about a 20-minute meeting, the judge ruled to unseal the divorce case. And Ralph looks very pleased with the results, okay? Ralph says that he wanted the case to be unsealed. So again, Drew, why are you more worried about it than Ralph is when you're claiming that Ralph is the one with all of the dirt that he wouldn't want to be unsealed? What's going on, okay? We also learned that Ralph still has not turned over his financial documents, and he gets to stay in the basement. So basically, Drew lost, okay? Everything that she wanted today, she didn't get any of it. Drew, who is your lawyer, get a new one, baby, okay? Because it's not working out. You're not getting anything past Miss. This is a money grab, okay? She ain't come to play with you. So Ralph is dancing out of the courthouse, and we see Drew tell Ralph that he's a complete dumbass for what he just did in there. And as they're leaving and her truck pulls away, she starts to cry, and the people in the car are trying to comfort her and tell her, don't cry, don't worry about it, okay? So we get another shirtless confessional from Slowhead Ralph, and he's saying that he wanted the documents unsealed so that there would be transparency throughout their divorce. He also says that although he made some mistakes, he definitely loved his wife very much. Okay, Ralph, whatever. So next we see all of the ladies. They're arriving to Nashville for Porsha's birthday party. Well, everyone except for Angela, because baby girl missed her flight. Angela, now how you miss? Let me tell you one thing I've never missed. It's a flight, okay? When it's time for me to go on a trip, I barely sleep the night before. I be up, I be packing, I be doing my hair, I be getting my stuff together. I barely sleep the night before a trip because I know I'm gonna sleep on the plane. I'm one of those weirdos. As soon as I get on the plane, I put my sunglasses on, I put a scarf over my head, and I be fast asleep. I be fast asleep, okay? So we cut to Angela at the airport, and she has to catch a later flight. She's in that airport with her fan, and she just sweating, child. So when we see the ladies who arrived on time, they're on the Sprinter, we get some clarity on why Brit is always so nasally, okay? She said that she had a nose job. So now we have some clarity on that, but that was already the assumption. So we see them arrive to the house, all right, and they're greeted with some drinks at the door by a little bartender, cowboy looking guy. The accommodations are really nice. That's what I thought when I first saw the home. The house is beautiful. They have a chef, all of the things, all right? So Porsha gives them a tour, and she opens up the basement door and she yells, Drew! That was funny. That was funny, okay? So we see Shamia. She takes the second best bedroom and she feels like it's rightfully hers. Since Porsha is her best friend, she should get the second best bedroom. And I said, oh, isn't that sweet? Porsha is your best friend. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that, okay? But child, I guess I spoke too soon saying that the accommodations were nice, because why did Porsha open up a bedroom door that had a damn bunk bed in it? Listen, why y'all always do that on these shows? Why y'all always do that? I know it's for the plot. It has to be for the plot at this point, because these are grown-ass women. No one wants to sleep on a damn bunk bed. You think they moved their schedules around, packed bags, hopped on a flight to sleep on a damn bunk bed? No, you don't think that. I know you don't. And Porsha is like, Kelli, that bed is calling your name. And Kelli was like, no, girl, don't even play with me. Don't even do it. And baby, if things weren't bad enough, Porsha then takes them to another room that has 6 beds in it, like if these grown women are at a damn summer camp sleepover, okay? Child, listen, we see the ladies, they sit down to eat, and they're each chatting about how some ladies act differently when they're on girls' trips, and this is very true. This is very true. I have seen plenty of friendships break up over girls' trips. None of mine, because we all know how to act, but we know that it happens very often, okay? And Brit says, yeah, some women, they act different in a group setting too. And she says that Angela had sent her a text message and asked her if she was okay, but at the brunch, she acted differently and she needs to pick a side, okay? Angela needs to pick a side according to Brit. And Shamia says, yeah, I don't like that either. Don't switch up on me. Shamia, shut up. Shut up, because your bestie switches up on you all the damn time and you let it slide. You don't say a damn thing. So shut your mouth in this conversation, okay? But we do see Brit's idea of friendship is just nodding and okaying everything that she does. Don't ask her any questions. Don't check her on anything. She doesn't want friends. She wants stands. That's what she really wants. Brit clearly doesn't want to be held accountable for anything. But Brit, you are one to talk because you act the damn fool in group settings as well. Let's not forget, okay? So we see Angela. She finally arrives and Brit is making the weirdest face, but she does give Angela a hug. Brit was sitting there. She's like, I was like, okay, girl. But in Angela's confessional, she says that she feels like she just walked into a room where people were talking about her. And her discernment is right, because they were just talking about her, okay? So she gets settled, and Porsha says that she wants everyone to have a good time. And Angela says, well, speaking of having a good time, I would really like it if Drew could come. And child, Porsha gives a stunned face, and she's like, how you gonna talk about you would like for Drew to come on my trip? On my birthday trip. And Angela says, well, I do anticipate seeing Drew. Listen, the way if I was Porsha, I would be like, not up in this house. Not up in this house. But baby, Angela says that she invited Drew because she thinks that she should be here. Listen, like I said, in terms of the show and entertainment, I love this because it's messy. Don't do this shit in real life. Do not invite someone to an event where you know the host does not want that person to be there. Like, come on now. Come on now. But Angela feels like she can be the mediator in their friendship, and she does feel like she can get some type of resolve between the ladies. And all of the ladies are in their confessional saying, wow, Angela, you are doing way too much. And I agree. All right. So Porsha says, look, she's going to be cool about it, but she did not invite Drew on this trip. Anyway, apparently Kelli and Brit ran into Angela at Neiman's earlier this week, and they claimed that she was ducking and dodging. They said that she looked a mess and she had her shades on. Well, Brit said that she looked a mess and she had her shades on, okay? And when they said hey to Angela, they said that she started hiding in between the racks. I can see that. I can visualize that. And in Brit's confessional, she says, maybe she was trying to hide some cosmetic work. Maybe. But Angela, she claims that she actually went up to them with open arms. Now, we know that Angela got some Botox, right? And she's a little swollen even in this scene. So I can only imagine how swollen she was a couple of days ago when they saw her in the mall, okay? So Brit says, look, I came over and I gave you a hug. And Angela says, yes, and I was receptive to that hug. And here goes Brit. Well, was the hug real? Was it fake? Like, what was the hug? Listen, at this point, don't nobody give Brit a hug. No more hugs for Brit, because she has this invisible rubric that she uses to grade people's hugs. If it's not long enough, if it's not tight enough, is it real? Is it fake? She will start a whole beef with you over a hug, okay? But Angela does say, look, the hug was genuine. I wouldn't have hugged you if I didn't feel like hugging you. So Brit says, okay, that's cool. That's cool. So they break off into their rooms, and Angela has the suite in the basement. So she's away from everyone. She has her own bathroom. That's the room that I would want, honestly. That I would want the suite in the basement away from everybody else with my own bathroom, okay? So in the room, there's a pillow, and on the pillow, it says, everyone is welcome, right? And Angela gives the pillow to Porsha. She says, here, you need this pillow. You need to eat the words of this pillow. And they joke about it. They jump on the bed. They're cracking up about it because Porsha does not want Drew to be on the trip. So Angela's like, you need this pillow because it says everyone is welcomed, okay? Meanwhile, we see Brit. She is upstairs. She's telling Kelli that she brought locks just in case anyone wants to act funny. And I'm like, Brit, are you sure that's all you brought? Did you bring anything else? Because y'all in Nashville, if you got a concealed carry, you can carry to Nashville, okay? You just got to pack it up right. Is that all you brought, Brit? Let me know. But Kelli says that she brought some sage and she brought her security, okay? So we see everyone making calls to their boo or whatever, and Angela calls Drew and she tells her, listen to this. Angela tells Drew that the vibes are good and everyone knows that she is coming. Now, I don't know why Angela set Drew up like this, okay? Because she knows damn well that the vibes were not good when she mentioned bringing her on the trip. The vibes were not good at the table, Angela. So why are you doing that? And we're going to get to later in this episode. Let me not get ahead of myself. Anyway, Drew says that she still doesn't know if she's coming because she's still upset about the way things went in court. But Drew, didn't you say that you would need the invitation to come straight from Porsha herself? What happened to that? Because that's what you said, right? That's what you said. Now you're thinking about it when you haven't received the call from Porsha. But Angela does tell Drew that she will help protect her peace when she gets here, all right? So we see everyone getting glammed up for their shenanigans later that night. Kelli brought her stylist Paris, and she also let him style Brit as a little gesture to make sure Brit knows that she's supported. I feel like Kelli is just such a sweet and amazing friend. She seems like the friend where if you are going through it, she is going to show up for you. She's going to make you feel loved. She's going to make you feel supported. I really love that about Kelli. I feel like she's a really sweet person. So we see all the ladies. They come down in their cowboy gear, and Porsha is telling the ladies that Angela physically fought her for the pillow in the bedroom. And she's saying that Angela is very aggressive. Now, Porsha, let's not act like you don't know the true meaning of physically fighting. Let's not do that, baby, because we know that you know. We know that you know. So let's choose our words carefully, okay? But Porsha says that even though she's getting bullied on her birthday, she's going to choose peace. Who's bullying you? We're going to talk more about that later. Just sit tight, all right? So we see the ladies. They meet up with Porsha's other friends. Everyone is turning up. Kelli is showing off her pasties, okay? Brit is motorboating people. After they have fun on the party bus, we see them bull riding. Porsha stayed on for like 7 seconds. Brit stayed on for 9 seconds. Kelli stayed on for 49 seconds, okay? And Shamia, she says that she's very competitive, and she stayed on for 51 seconds, all right? So after that, they all sit down to eat, and someone says, where's Drew, right? Where's Drew? But we learned that Drew is still in Atlanta. She's celebrating with her security guard, Allison, because she got offered a record deal. So congratulations to Drew. I still haven't gotten to listen to her album, but I have heard nothing but great things about it. I really have, all right? And since court was so much, Drew says that she just wanted to take this moment to celebrate. So back at the table, Porsha is telling everyone that Drew wasn't invited, but this one down here at the end of the table, she's pointing at Angela, this one invited Drew to crash her birthday event. So all of the ladies are like, wow, that is so rude. That's so rude. And Angela says, look, the energy that you gave said that it was okay. Now, Angela, let's not play these games because you know that the energy was not giving that, baby. You know that, okay? And Porsha says that Angela pressured her, and Angela was like, I pressured you. It was giving embezzle. That's what it was giving. And I really had the same reaction that Angela had because Porsha, Angela did not pressure you. Angela is not bullying you, okay? And we know that you have absolutely no problem speaking up for yourself. So to be using all of these HR terms, talking about bullying and aggression and feeling pressured, you're doing a bit much. All you had to say was straight like this, Angela, let me make myself 100% clear. Drew is not invited to my event, and if she shows up here as your +1, both you and her will be removed. Straight like that. Very simple. Now, is Angela wrong? Yes, Angela is wrong. But did she pressure Porsha? No, Angela did not pressure Porsha, okay? But Porsha says, I'm still a good sport about it, and I was even gracious enough to give her the room with 2 beds. With 2 beds, and child, they show us the room with the bunk beds in it. I said, okay. I said, okay, so you already knew that Drew was coming, huh, Porsha? You had that room set aside specifically for Drew, didn't you? Didn't you? How you knew? Did Dennis tell you? Yeah, okay. Anyway, Angela says that she thought that the point of this trip was for everyone to lay their issues down by the riverside. And Porsha was like, no, this trip is for my birthday, girl. This trip is about me. And I'm like, valid, okay? This is her birthday trip. And child, Porsha asks Angela what type of glue she got on her motherfucking wig that she's not understanding what she's saying. Another valid question, because right now, Angela is acting dumb on purpose, okay? Angela, we know that you are not this delayed, okay, baby? And in Angela's confessional, she says that Porsha should have told her that Drew cannot come, and she's only acting big and bad now that she's with her friends. Well, why didn't you say that at the table, Angela? I wish you said that at the table then, if that's how you really felt. But okay, whatever. You see her vibe now, though. Right? She made it clear now. Are you going to pick up the phone and call Drew and tell her not to bother because you misjudged the vibe originally? Are you going to call Drew and say, hey, girl, I guess I had it a little wrong. We just had another conversation. Porsha clearly does not want you to come, and I don't want you to walk into the lion's den, so don't worry about it. Are you going to do that? Or are you going to let Drew walk into the lion's den? We already seen the preview, so we know that you're going to let Drew walk into the lion's den. Now, listen, if I was Drew, I would be upset at you, but also, Drew, you said that you wouldn't be attending the event unless you got a personal invitation from Porsha. You should have stood on that, okay? Because we saw in the preview that you're going to end up leaving anyway. So we see Porsha filling in the other women about the issue with Drew and Dennis, and one of Porsha's friends says that Drew sucks some. And I said, whoa. So everyone at the table gasps. And Brit is like, that's too much. That's a little bit too much. Yeah, you would think that now. You would think that now. And in Porsha's confessional, she says that she doesn't know, right, what Drew and Dennis might have done, but fellatio is Dennis's thing. That's his go-to. And she says that in the past, when she's asked Dennis about women who he's messed with, like, hey, have you slept with her? You did this with her? His answer is always, no, she gave me head though. No, I didn't do this, but she gave me head though. That's his answer every single time, all right? So according to Porsha, she's like, I don't know. Okay. And baby, that is where the episode ends. Tell me your thoughts for this episode. How you feeling about what Angela did? Do you like it? Do you not? Are you feeling Angela? Let me know all your thoughts below. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you hit the notification bell. Like I said, we are so close to 35K, and I appreciate each and every single one of you. And I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye!
Roxiie says we're gonna talk about it.